Just 1 week until the midterm elections, and Democrats are hiding Biden.
The president will hit the campaign trail, but will be avoiding most of the big battleground states, including Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Joining us live is OutKick host Tomi Lahren. Tomi, they're sending him to Florida. Is the reason that they're sending him to Florida because he can't mess anything up there?
Well, and meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis is so popular in Florida, he's actually going to campaign for other candidates. So that tells you everything that you need to know about what's likely going to happen next week. But listen, you guys are going to be shocked by this. I actually am feeling a little bad for Biden right now because the Democrat Party has used him to bring in their dirty policies. They have used him to do their dirty work. And now they're already in the process of throwing him under the bus like yesterday's trash. We knew this was going to happen, acting as if it's just Joe Biden and his unpopularity that's the problem, when we all know it's their policies that they still stand by the way, that have made this president so unpopular, with the side, of course, of his inability to speak and all of his gaffes. But I actually feel bad for the guy because they used him to do all their bad work, and now they want to get away from him.
Well, Tomi, President Biden is being called out for making fewer campaign appearances than sitting presidents before him. Politico writing, with Joe Biden's poll numbers stuck in the low 40s, the sitting president has largely been absent from the trail in the final weeks of the campaign. Nobody is more in demand than Obama. Even as he stars as the party's biggest draw and chief base motivator, there's an unmistakable fear that even he can't prevent what may end up being inevitable bloodletting on November 8th. So it is former President Obama who's going to all the battleground states, starting in Nevada today. Do you think that he could make a difference on the campaign trail?
He's charismatic, so he has the star power. People want to come out and see him. But what the Democrats are failing to realize is that the American people are not voting right now for personalities. They're not voting for star power. They're not voting on what looks good on social media. They are voting for policies first, and they know that the Democrats are standing by their bad policies when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the border, and certainly when it comes to crime. The Democrats are not moving away from their felon and thug-coddling policies, but they think that bringing out the star power, bringing out the celebrities is somehow going to help their case. That's why they don't understand the American people. But they're going to find out next Tuesday. I can tell you that, because it's going to be a huge wake-up call. But I have a feeling they're just going to go ahead and blame Joe Biden and others in the party instead of really taking a look at their policies and why the American people don't want them.
Next to Pennsylvania we go. Dr. Mehmet Oz getting a big endorsement from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the newspaper writing in part Mr. Fetterman's health. John Fetterman, obviously the candidate Dr. Oz is writing against. We're worried about his health. He suffered a serious stroke in May. It's not the issue. His lack of transparency, however, in refusing to release his medical records is troubling. It suggests an impulse to conceal and a mistrust of the people. All candidates for a major elected office should release their medical records, as did Mr. Oz. Tomi, I can't tell you the last time a mid to big city newspaper endorsed a Republican in any race. I'm sure it's happened, but I just can't, off the top of my head, remember. How big a deal is this endorsement?
Oh, it's a big deal, because I'll tell you this, the media does not like to be wrong. This all started back in 2016 when they got that election oh so wrong. So now they're doing everything they can to put themselves in the win column. But I think that, honestly, this is a service to their readers, and it's a service to the people of Pennsylvania. We are able to talk about somebody's health and their mental capabilities. I mean, look at what we got in the White House. I think people should have asked more questions before that election, quite honestly. But this is a huge deal, because this is saying you have to be honest. You have to be transparent with your voters. But more importantly, yes, we talk a lot about John Fetterman. We talk about his inability to speak. We talk about that disastrous debate. All those things are fair game. But let's not forget, just like I said with the first topic, it is about the policies. And when you look at his policies when it comes to fracking and crime, I don't think Pennsylvanians want that. So his stroke is one thing, but it's more about the policies, and the policies are a big loser.
Tomi, next Tuesday when we have you on is going to be Election Day. So ahead of that, what are your final predictions on the House and Senate? Where do you think things will wind up?
Listen, I'm expecting a red wave, and I know that we have to be humble about it, but I do believe that the American people are realizing when they vote for Democrats, they don't get anything in their backyard that they want. They don't have affordability. They don't have gas prices where they need to be. They have a party that is actively lying to them. They have an open border. And let's not forget the crime in the streets in major cities and even small towns around the nation that are run by Democrats. They don't want that. They're realizing that Republicans are going to have to take charge again. So let's get this country back, and I have a feeling that's what's going to happen next week. It's the start of big things happening.
It's a Tommy Tuesday, obviously, next week, but the big question remains, will it be a Tommy takeover Tuesday with the Republicans taking over Congress? We will see.
Yes. Tommy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, as always.
Thank you, guys.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.